I grew up in Los Angeles, yet I'd never been to the LA Museum of the Holocaust. I had no idea how relevant it really is. Every single story that I've ever told in filmmaking has been deep-rooted in something here. Every film I've made, every part I've ever played, whether it was working, doing a sports show, or it was things about like learning disabilities I'm doing now, that's because that hits home right here. It's me.
Working with Lenny, playing around the world, right? That's what I've been doing for the last 24 years. When people play music together, or when any group does something together, it creates one thing. It's like the many become one.
I treat patients with leukemia, multiple myeloma, sometimes lymphoma, generally cancers of the blood and bone marrow, and I direct a bone marrow stem cell transplant unit here at UCLA.
Hey, Awesomeness TV.
What's up, guys?
What's up? 30 seconds on the clock to grab our ingredients. Go! Woo! Oh my gosh.
It's a very creative, very kind of encouraging environment. We make a lot of content for young teens. We want to be a place where if something's happening in the world, they can come to Awesomeness TV and be like, what are they saying about that?
He introduced me to music. I had to play piano because he plays piano. So I think I started when I was 5. I played for 7 years. Before that, when I was 4, I played drums for like a year. And then when I was 11, I wanted to start a band, so I got back on the drums, and I've been playing since.
But don't look back in anger, I heard you say.
In 1944, that's when they rounded up the Jews in the village that he was in. And he told me that that moment is when I decided I'm just gonna survive.
My dad is from Prague, concentration camp survivor.
My great-grandmother was a drummer. Her name was Mickey, and she played in the Auschwitz band.
My grandfather would have to go practice Judaism in a forest. You weren't allowed to practice in his town. His town was a town called Eberbach. They would set up tents, and they would practice Judaism and practice being free.
Even though we haven't experienced the horrors of what our family members went through, we still feel the resonance of it.
I think that descendants of Holocaust survivors felt the need to do something of substance that had the concept of meaning that was transgenerational.
But I'm gonna keep making films and doing projects that I feel resonate with me, and I hope the specificity with which I bring to the project also resonates with other people, because my heart's here, but I try to wear it on my sleeve. And I think part of what's allowed me to do that is having a grandfather who did it. He couldn't help, he couldn't go anywhere. People knew, like, this is, you got out of Germany. This is who you are.
She's taking it way beyond what I've done already, you know, because I don't sing. And drums is cool because her great-grandmother was a drummer, so it's in her blood.
There's some sort of symmetry or something.
Well, she's got Mickey's name in her name. We gave her, you know, we honored my grandmother when Ruby was born.
What's extra special about playing this song with your daughter?
Just the fact that my grandparents used to play it. My grandmother was the drummer, so she's playing my grandmother's part.
I think about it all the time. I mean, I think about him telling me, like, I made the decision that I was gonna survive. To me, that's like the most powerful thing. And I'll do that too. I'll be like, well, I'm just gonna decide. I know it's such a crazy comparison because it's not the same.
No, but there is a similarity.
I'll just decide, like, this is going to work. This is going to happen. Or maybe it won't go exactly like that, but it's going to happen.
One lesson that my grandfather taught me is the notches that we accumulate in our lives. It's like we're the notches on a tree, the rings. And every single bruise, every single scrape, every single scar that life brings us makes us stronger. Makes us stronger as people, makes us stronger as a society. When we shy away, when we run into a corner, when we're scared to have our voice heard, when we don't let those notches accumulate, then we're just another excuse. And there's one thing that my grandfather ingrained in me, it's never be the excuse.
It's really our job is empowering, the younger generation, telling them that it does matter what they think, it matters what they read, it matters who they follow, it matters what they talk about. It's being knowledgeable and feeling empowered that you can actually, be a part of preventing this from getting to that place or from getting to a place where it's too late.
Now going forward, because you're living proof.
Yeah, that's a challenge. I'm struggling with that because I have younger kids, and so I think about that a lot. So every individual has to take from this some personal lesson that is a motivator for how to conduct a life.
I showed a film in Charlottesville called Restoring Tomorrow. It's a film about rebuilding communities, and the conversation that came up was beautiful. And then to see this incident happen there is insane to me. Growing up, Nazis were a thing that existed in the past. Nazis were done in 1945 when the war ended. And then to see these things in the present tense acknowledged as though they're okay in any way, shape, or form in the current landscape, it's shocking on so many levels.
It's important to keep the memory of the Holocaust alive because life goes on and we're not consumed with thinking about the past all the time. But if you don't remember the past, you can make the same mistakes. But I want to focus on good, like you're doing. And I think that's important,
Once you get complacent, anything can happen. You're opening the door to problems. So how is the LA Museum of the Holocaust going to be relevant for the future in terms of turning that negative into a positive so that we remember, and then we change that so we educate going forward in a positive light so that we don't make the same mistakes again, but honor all of the beauty that has come from the people who had the fortune of being able to get out.
As long as there are still people that are telling you and showing you what actually happened, then the majority can thrive in the good.
People say, how can you think of something like Holocaust and take a positive from it? Everyone that I'm meeting is a positive from the Holocaust, as long as we don't forget, and as long as we use what we were gifted with so that we can make a difference.
Yeah.